Ah yes, hello. Glad you can join me. Today we're going to make this. Not today, this week. I'm going to show you step by step how we can produce something like this in the workshop for a site. Good morning YouTube. Did you miss me? I've not saw you for a while. Where have you been? Where have I been? This week we're going to make this. This is a drawing, and I've blotted out the customer's name because she's very famous. What we're going to do is make this part of the drawing, get in focus camera. There's a chest of drawers here. There is my surveying on the job because it's a sloped roof and it's got double doors, sliding doors here, and I've already done this on a job, so probably you'll see it when we get there. I'll do a wee footage, a wee bit of film. Anyway, back to the job. I'm going to do a scale drawing 1:1 on the bench because that tends to highlight problems, and even in a small job like this, it's not a big job for me. It's a chest of drawers. It's going to be done in oak. It's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to do as much footage as I can, then take you on a job, and you can see me fitting it together. Focus. This part here is above the wardrobes, and because there's a shape to this, there's a wee trick that I do so that I do most of the cutting in the workshop, so that when I turn up with my panel, oak panel veneer, it's all ready to the perfect shape, and I just slip it in. It's done. Fits beautiful. Fits like a glove. You save you having to do that on a job, because that's a nightmare. It's a funny thing when customers, they see you arriving to do their job and they're so happy, but psychology says they want it done in an hour, they want you out the house so that they can appreciate your good work. But I don't work like that. Everything we make has to be precise so that it's not a pain in the neck for me to be working inside somebody's house. And some customers, they tend to go on price rather than the quality, but what the saying goes that the bitterness of poor quality lasts long after the sweetness of cheapness. Oh, it's good. That's a good saying. I didn't make it though. So let's crack on with this job. It's my new camera, by the way. I've got a few cameras. I've got a GoPro, I've got a Canon Mark V D5, and I've got another small Canon, and I've also got my iPhone. But this camera here, I just bought it last week. It's a Nikon P900, and I thought I'd give it a go, try it out in the workshop. So let's crack on. This is what I was talking about. Here I take these strips of thin plywood to the job, and I'll cut them, and I'll use my glue gun, and I'll start fitting the thin pieces of plywood around there to that shape, and I'll shape each piece where it's curved and it's the right size, and that now becomes a template. And I take it back to the workshop and I cut my oak veneer or panel or whatever it is that you're doing. That's your template. So that's that. And so the chest of drawers here, that wall is off the plumb and the floor is slightly off the level. So I thought, well, it doesn't take 10 minutes to do one, so I made one also for the chest of drawers. And it's got the wee skirting cut out for the shape. This edge is slightly off the plumb. Draw in my parts, draw the parts in on a board, and that'll give us our storyboard, so we can work to that. There's a helicopter. Every time I hear a helicopter, it reminds me of my time in Vietnam. When I say Vietnam, I mean the restaurant just off my high street. It's beautiful cooking.
Dreams wakes me into sweaty sheets, abandons me when nights died out. What can I do? What can I do? Stop this, get right. Stop this, get right.
That's my drawer box is made, and quite a strong construction. Not only do I groove it in with the base panel into the drawer itself, but also back it up by putting a piece of pine underneath, so that the customer, she can load it up with as much weight as possible without the fear of the box falling through the bottom. Now we're going to set out the drawer runners, and remember the template, the jig that I drew earlier. That's where each drawer is. I'll just offer it up against the unit. And that goes there. So now I'm going to position my drawer runners to the centre of each drawer, and we'll see how we get on. It's not a big job, but if you split up the operations, break it down into little parts, like you can't eat an elephant all at once, you've got to cut it up into little bits so that you can eat it. I'm just making a wee jig so that I can use it as a measuring stick rather than the tape measure. The best way to measure something is not use a tape measure, so you'll see me often using a wee stick so that I could use it as a measuring jig. Doing that keeps the drawer runners all exactly the same distance from the edge, keeps everything nice and straight and square. This is another wee jig, just made up of scraps. This T-square that I use to put on my drawer runners. I just G-clamp the T-square on. Absolute works a treat. You can actually buy these things. They're like 20 quid or something, £20, and what's the point? 2 minutes and you've made one of these jigs and you've saved yourself 20 quid. This one I just screw into the side of the carcass because the carcass is not seen, it's a drawer unit. Good morning YouTube, it's a nice sunny day. I'm having my coffee, it's the first thing to do in the morning. But today we're going to go and make the drawer fronts. I'm going to go on the router and use the profile and scribe cutters. This is my rod that you saw me drawing earlier on with each drawer. That's a column, so that should be there, but I've just stuck it there, G-clamped it on. And I made a top. And the top is veneer, an oak veneer with a solid piece of oak on the front, which is biscuited on. I've left it oversized because it's going to get fitted into a tight space. And I also drew up a wee template of the drawer front because it's going to be a profile and scribe cutting on the router table. And I'm just sort of like drawing it in, see what it looks like. Of course there's 5 drawers. Equal sized. Here you saw me earlier on, I think, gluing on this. I cut a wee notch here so that I can grip on my G-clamp to hold it, clamp on top and bottom. That and this side is going to be loose because when I fit it in the job it's going to be a nice tight fit, and I don't want to find myself being jammed in so much that I can't get this fitted. So this has got a wee block in there which unscrews and the whole thing separates. Bear in mind, I've got to get this thing up a flight of stairs myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to video that bit because I'll be wheaking and blind. That's this episode. It's going to be in 2 parts. If you join me in the next episode, you'll see me put the drawer fronts together using the profile and scribe on the router. Thanks for watching.